Hey guys, it's Andy here from Rod Station USA, and I am excited to go over our dryer vent equipment and how to use it, how to properly use it, things to do, things not to do. So I'm going to walk right through this, and hopefully you'll get some tidbits out of it that will help your equipment last longer and maybe have you do more effective cleanings. So here we go. Very simple, seems kind of silly. Don't overload your rod bags. They are super heavy duty and they can take a lot of weight, but we don't need to put 50 rods in one bag. So let's, use your common sense. 10 to 20 rods is sufficient. Who wants to lug around 50 rods anyway? Okay, so let's take a look at basic dryer vent rods. We have two different ones with our company, and we have the 10 millimeter and the 8 millimeter. They both will be perfect for dryer vents. They both do 90-degree turns, but some guys like the more flexibility, so they like the 8 millimeter, so you can use them as well. They will connect to each other, so it doesn't really matter. Push and click, and you're in and ready to go. But let's talk about, how we operate that. First of all, let me see here and this. Some guys, believe it or not, are still using a corded drill and running it full blast. I think the thought process there is to spin it really fast is going to clean the chimney better. Even on a low setting, it's still spinning very fast. But what it's going to do is protect your rods. So we want to, obviously when you're power sweeping anything, whether it's dryer vents, chimneys, air ducts, doesn't matter, you can break things. We're not indestructible. So what can you do to lower that breakage so we can keep more money in our pockets, right? Because who wants to spend money that they don't need to? So in using a cordless drill, I would pick a cordless drill that I can control the speed, and I would use it on a low gear setting. You could, if you have a clutch like this one does, you could set it to a low resistance so that when you run across things like something getting stuck, going around a sharp turn that it's just having trouble getting through, it will stop before you twist and break your rods. It's very smart to do. In this particular instance, I'm using one of our mini connectors that has a hex connection. We also have a standard. If you don't have that kind of a drill, you can just put a regular key chuck on and tighten it. But in this example, I've got the quick connect, which as you can see is really pretty cool, very convenient. So let's look at if you are using the rods, and we're going to get to our mini vent shaft system. We're going to talk about that too. But let's say you are starting the turn, and that's usually where the sharp bends are. I would recommend, whether you're cleaning from the roof, whether you're cleaning from the back of the dryer, to use one of our dryer vent rod guides. How does this work? So you would put this in to wherever you're cleaning. That you notice there's a fitting here. You can actually attach a vacuum to this so that when you're doing the cleaning, you can suck all the lint in. Some guys do that differently. Some guys run it from the outside while the dryer is on so that it's blowing out, but there's different ways to do it. So in this particular case, you can put your rod in there. Let's put another one. Well, I didn't have to. Just put it right there. So you have your head. Okay, so let's put a head on there, just so you can see it. So what is this doing? Is we've bent this through a sharp area, or an area that potentially could be sharp, and we're using the rod guide to take the beating for us instead of it going on the rod. If you don't use something like this, and granted it'll work, but when you don't use it, the rod itself, which is very strong, is going to be spinning on all those sharp edges, and that's lowering the life of your rod because you could be shaving some of it off. Or if you get stuck and you're spinning in the same spot, then that can lead to a breakage as well. So that's what we don't want to do. So what do we remember? Just to recap: cordless drill, low setting, low gear setting. Don't need to spin full speed to clean it properly. Different tools in here. This is a 5-inch. We have it's right over here. We have a 4-inch as well on our mini vent shaft. So we have different tools that you can use. Why different tools? Well, there's different types of bristles. Some of them are softer than others, some of them are harder. And then of course we have our mini nylon head. I personally, this is my favorite. This could shrink, if you can see this, you can bend it down to anything. You could literally go through a 2-inch hole if you needed to. If these were too long, they could be snipped. Something to note too, if you don't know anything about our heads, this is an Allen key in the middle. You can loosen this and take these out, cut them down to different, you could make them longer. So if you had a larger dryer vent or some kind of vent that you were doing that was a little bit bigger, you could adjust this. So these are my personal favorites, but these are also your classic brushes. These are a power brush. Maybe this is great for kind of polishing at the end. Say you did use one of these heads and you clean the majority of it out, a blockage. You might want to run one of these just to polish it and clean it off, but this does an amazing job too. But there's different things that, you know, each company does things a little bit different. My whole concept here is to get you to reduce rod breakage. So these, let's move into our spring leaders. So we have two different types. This works perfectly well to negotiate 90-degree turns. But one thing that we found working with dryer vent companies all across the United States and Canada is that while these are great, they really wanted a back-to-back 90-degree problem. So if you are a professional dryer vent guy and have been doing it for years, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're watching this and you've never cleaned a dryer vent before, in dryer vents, oftentimes behind the scenes, they connect two 90s right back to each other. So this type of turn can sometimes make that a little harder because it's not long enough. So we developed a second one that you could use when needed, that this will make that 90-degree turn or double 90-degree turn. So this in combination with the rod guide and not using the drill too fast is going to help you get through things without breaking rods. So that's really the whole point. So I think that kind of covers rods. So one thing that has become probably one of our fastest selling products is our mini vent shaft system. If you don't know what this is, I'm going to tell you right now. So this is a 2 millimeter one. These 2 meters. This is a 2 meter section. We use the metric system because everything is made in the UK that we manufacture. But this is a 2 meter that comes, you can get a 3 meter, 5 meter for those of you who are going, I don't know what he's talking about. 6 feet, 9 feet, or more than 16 feet as standard ones that we have, and you can get different sizes. But really what I wanted you to learn in this video is how is this made and why do you have to use it in a certain way. So these are rods and they can go backwards and forwards, no problem at all. These are made with I don't know if you can see it too good in here, but it's a stainless steel cable, and cable is wound, it's spun. So when you operate a cable power sweeping piece of equipment, you want the drill running in forward. So it's spinning that direction. Now, if there's no resistance on the brush and you ran it in reverse, it's not gonna break it. But in general, when you're cleaning, you don't know what you're running up against. So you could run into a sharp turn that gets you stuck, or something, a screw, they're not supposed to have screws in dryer vents, but we know that happens all the time. It could get stuck and then it puts resistance on the head. And typically if we have experience in power sweeping, we think if we're stuck, we put it in reverse, which would be fine normally. But with these, you can unwind the cable running in reverse when you're stuck. And then that can literally either damage mildly or snap the cable. So this is a forward run system. So just keep that in mind when you're running cables. So just slight little recap: rod guides, spring leaders, don't run it too fast, run your mini vent shafts in forward only, and you're going to be a lot of your rod breakage is that can happen anyway, but you're going to reduce that. Certainly if you have more questions, you can reach out to us, rodstationusa.com. You can reach out to us via phone or text, 774-688-6111. Always happy to help in any way that we can. So this helps, or hopefully this helps, and you've grabbed some good information from this, and we will talk to you soon. See you in the next video.